Coercive control in relationships. Know the signs. They said if I love them, I'd do it. He tracks my phone because he cares. He puts me down whenever he can.
She goes through my phone all the time, demanding to know who I've been talking to.
I've told him we're over, but he keeps sending me gifts and flowers.
If I don't text back straight away, she'll be angry.
I want to leave, but he says he will hurt himself.
She doesn't like it when I go round to visit my parents. Says I've got to choose her over them.
Does any of this sound familiar? It's not love. It's abuse. Domestic and or familial abuse can include violence, but did you know that it isn't always physical? It can also include coercive control, an act or a pattern of acts of assault, threats, humiliation, and intimidation or other abuse, to harm, punish, or frighten. Controlling behavior works to make a person feel less than and or dependent by isolating them from sources of support, exploiting resources and capacities for personal gain, depriving them of the means needed for independence, resistance, and escape. Abuse can be psychological and or emotional, physical or sexual or financial, and can take place in person or online. It is very common and can affect anyone, regardless of their gender or sexuality, although in the vast majority of cases it is experienced by women and perpetrated by men. Domestic abuse doesn't only happen between intimate partners, it can also take place between family members. Relationships rarely start out abusive, and coercive control can be difficult to detect, as it is a slow, deliberate process that develops over time. Know the signs. Criticism and verbal abuse, shouting, mocking, name-calling, putting you down. Using pressure tactics, sulking, threatening to withhold money, disconnecting the phone and internet, taking away or destroying your mobile, tablet or laptop, taking the car away, taking the children away, threatening to report you to the police, social services, or the mental health team unless you comply with their demands, threatening or attempting self-harm and suicide, withholding or pressuring you to use drugs or other substances, lying to your friends and family about you, telling you that you have no choice in any decisions. Disrespect, persistently putting you down in front of other people, not listening or responding when you talk, interrupting your telephone calls, taking money from your purse without asking, refusing to help with childcare or housework. Isolating you, monitoring or blocking your phone calls, emails, and social media accounts, preventing you from seeing friends and relatives, shutting you in the house. Harassment, following you, checking up on you, not allowing you any privacy, accompanying you everywhere you go, breaking trust, lying to you, withholding information from you, being jealous, having other relationships, breaking promises and shared agreements. Sexual violence, using force, threats, or intimidation to make you perform sexual acts, having sex with you when you don't want it, forcing you to look at pornographic material, constant pressure and harassment into having sex when you don't want to, forcing you to have sex with other people, any degrading treatment related to your sexuality or to whether you are lesbian, bisexual or heterosexual, threats, making angry gestures, using physical size to intimidate, shouting you down, destroying your possessions, breaking things, punching walls, wielding a weapon. Physical violence, punching, slapping, hitting, biting, pinching, kicking, pulling hair out, pushing, shoving, burning, strangling, pinning you down, holding you by the neck, restraining you. Denial, saying the abuse doesn't happen, saying you caused the abuse, begging for forgiveness, saying it will never happen again, saying they can't control their anger, being publicly gentle and patient. Using coercive control to harm, punish, or frighten you, e.g. depriving you of basic needs, such as food, monitoring your time, your activity throughout the day, i.e. use of hidden cameras, denying you freedom, taking control over aspects of your everyday life, such as where you can go, who you can see, what you can wear and when you can sleep, depriving you access to support services, such as medical services, repeatedly putting you down, humiliating, degrading, or dehumanizing you, controlling your finances, limiting your access to money. Support available. Acknowledging these factors is an important step in preventing and stopping the abuse. If you are experiencing abusive behavior, it is important to remember that the abuse is not your fault, that domestic abuse is against the law, and that you don't have to deal with this on your own because there is a lot of support available.